What is happening, guys? Welcome to the video. Today I'm basically going to go through my full transformation, okay? So going back to when I started. So I'm going to show you the process of when I started the gym and where I am now and my kind of journey. It's been a long journey, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but let's just get right into it. So in high school and even in primary school, you know, I wasn't exactly the most fitness orientated person. I was very weak, you know, I was very skinny. My arms and legs were like twigs. The only fitness kind of orientated sport that I took part in was skiing, which I'd done for 10 years. That's been a big part of my life. And I was a member of Bellahouston Ski Club in Glasgow. And I feel like the only place I had any kind of muscle was my core and my legs, because obviously when you're doing skiing, you're using your legs mainly. That is kind of where I gained the initial bit of muscle just through doing that. But obviously, since I'm a hard gainer, it wasn't much, and it did take me a long time to kind of build everything else up, as I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, going back, like obviously in school, I was very weak, skinny. I wasn't really happy with my body shape, and my friend actually started going to a gym in Paisley. I lived in Paisley at the time. He started training in this gym. I'm not sure what it was that motivated him to go, but I remember seeing a big difference in him. This was around about 6th year, I would say. I was kind of intrigued, you know, I started asking him questions about the gym and how would I get into it and if he could teach me anything. And there was a gym that he wanted to join. He was a member of kind of commercial gyms at the time, and he wanted to join this gym called Planet Bodybuild. Now this was a bodybuilding gym in Paisley that just opened up, and I was quite intimidated, I'm not gonna lie, but I went in, I had all the money in my hand, and I bought a year's membership because I knew if I'd paid for a year just up front, I would need to stick to it. It's not something I could do for a week and then just sack it off. I needed to do it, and I needed to dedicate myself to it, because I've just paid £300+ to join this gym for the year. So that's what I did, and I had no clue about the gym. And I remember them asking me when I went in, are you quite confident with what you're doing in the gym? And I just said yes. And they clearly, these were big guys, you know, big guys with tattoos and all that stuff. I'm just this wee skinny high school guy. So that was it, and I started watching Z's, CT Fletcher, all these guys. I loved all that stuff. I remember watching that CT Fletcher video where he talks about the arms day.
I was determined to get some big ass motherfucking arms.
Still one of my favourite motivational videos of all time. These kind of YouTube videos and all that inspired me, and it kind of opened my eyes up to social media, and if I can maybe do YouTube one day, but we'll get into that later on in the video. So yeah, paid this year's membership, had no idea what I was doing. Me and my friend started training in this gym. He taught me the kind of basics, but I had no clue what we were doing. Like, we were supersetting bicep curls with leg press, like doing all this weird ass stuff. It didn't make any sense. We weren't eating enough, so we weren't gaining any muscle. Plus we were hard gainers, so obviously that was a big factor. We needed to be eating as much as we could, and we were not. So I would say that the noob gain phase, if you call it that, we kind of messed that up, because obviously this first year in the gym, they say you're meant to gain more muscle than you'll gain throughout your gym career, and we did not gain much, but we gained something. I'd like to say we made a bit of a difference, and we just enjoyed it in general. Like, we enjoyed going to the gym, we enjoyed training. I remember every day after school, we'd get on the bus, head to the gym in our school uniform, walk into the gym, obviously get changed, and then just train. And I think these guys, you know, these big guys who kind of doubted us at first, they kind of started seeing our dedication, and I think we earned their respect through that, which was actually quite nice to have these kind of big guys have your back a wee bit. So yeah, member of this gym for a few years, but coming towards the end of high school, there was a lot of drinking involved, okay? So, if I wasn't drinking as much, I probably would have gained more, but obviously the drinking does play a factor into it, and I feel like the whole drinking every weekend, when you're in high school, you know, you're coming towards the end of the year, everyone does it, but for our situation, it probably wasn't the best to do that in the situations we were in. I remember we met 2 other guys in our year. They joined the gym and they'd started training. They'd been training for a while as well, so basically we became friends with them, and we went on a holiday to Cavos together. Kind of lads holiday in 6th year, and I remember looking at my body here. I remember before this holiday, right, I thought we all thought we were massive. We thought we were big, okay, and we were going to this place thinking, oh, we're gonna be those jacked guys there. See, when I look back at these photos, I mean, you can see it for yourself, it is brutal. We are not big at all, and it's just funny to think that back then we thought we were massive. I still don't think I'm massive now. And back then I thought I was massive. It just goes to show how naive I truly was. But this holiday was great, but again, we barely ate anything, we were drinking a lot, and obviously this was a big step back this holiday, especially for hard gainers like us. You can see, like, as the holiday went on, we were deteriorating and deteriorating. It clearly was a big hit on the little muscle we had at that point. So we move into the end of that year. I turned 18, obviously more drinking, and I joined college. So there was a lot of 18ths kind of going on around this time. I remember 2014, 2015, all my friends were turning 18, so I was going to parties every weekend, going out drinking, still trying to train at the same time. So I was training through the week, and then at the weekend I would absolutely screw it all up, and then on Monday it would be like a clean slate. It was a kind of repetitive process, you know, do well, eat well, train hard throughout the week, and then at the end of the week you just kind of mess it all up with your drinking and takeaways and eating chippies and all that. But going into college, I kind of had a new mindset, you know, I kind of wanted to do less of that, but it was still hard because all my friends were still turning 18, so I don't think I fully kind of got to grips with all that. And I remember like Freshers Week and all that was going on. Yeah, it was just a bit mental around this time. I was constantly partying, but I still kept my training up, still kept going to the Planet Bodybuild, was still in that gym, and I was trying my best to make gains. And then I remember that next year in 2015 we went to Ayanapa, and again I went with a different group of guys this time. And again, I messed it all up. You know, I took a big step back. You know, it probably wasn't the best thing to do when you're trying to gain muscle, but that was it. Obviously, it was a tough age to be at, 18. You've got all these things going on, but I feel like I should have been more dedicated looking back. But no regret, what's done is done. So through college, after this kind of fiasco, all these parties and holidays, I kind of started to put on a bit of size. I noticed. I think my mindset kind of changed on it. I started to become a wee bit more confident through the gym. I still wasn't like 100% confident, but the gym did boost my confidence a lot, and I was not confident at all in high school. So this was quite nice, being able to feel like I was able to do things and talk in front of people and all that. I was still very nervous around this time, but it was a big boost. At college I studied TV and filmmaking because that is kind of where I wanted to take my career at the time. I was working a few jobs, you know, I worked in Matalan, I worked in Foot Asylum throughout this time, I worked in Burger King as well. But yeah, just working in these kind of retail places showed me how much I did not want to spend the rest of my life in a shop like that. So that was an eye-opener. So towards the end of college, it was about 3 years in college, and I'd gained quite a bit of size. But the last year of college, it was kind of when all the drinking began, because obviously it was our last year. We wanted to kind of have a big send-off, and we were drinking every weekend. So yeah, that wasn't too good, but I don't think I took it as far as I did back when I was leaving school. I wanted to kind of be a film director, make tons of films, be cameraman and all that stuff. Even acting interested me at one point. I remember I starred in quite a lot of short films and even my own one, but at the same time I kind of was losing a wee bit of passion for it. But that is just kind of the process. I was going straight to uni after this to finish my kind of filmmaking degree, and I thought that would kind of give me the last like boost I needed, you know, that would kind of put me back in that mindset of, no, this is something I really want to do with my life. So fast forward to uni, I basically was still training quite hard, but I remember when I started going to uni, this is where my training really stepped up. I was actually more interested, more worried, more concerned about training than I actually was about doing the coursework, which is bad, I know. During this year, I remember I put on a lot of size, and this is when I really started to put on the weight, I noticed. So I went on this massive bulk, and I put on a lot of weight. You know, a lot of this was muscle, a lot of this was fat, but at the same time, I was just happy to be getting bigger. Because if you want to get big, I guess you kind of need to take that sacrifice and kind of look, obviously, a little bit chunkier, just to gain the muscle, and then obviously you can shred it all off afterwards. But for hard gainers, that's what I would say for me worked best. Obviously everyone's different, but because I was such a hard gainer, I needed to put on as much weight as I could, and with that came body fat, but with that also came a lot of muscle mass. But yeah, trained super hard this year. This was an epic year for the gym. Over the last kind of year in college and the first year in uni, I kind of started to really research stuff and really understand what I was doing with my body. And then I remember I started to get noticed a little bit by like friends of mine and stuff, like people that went to uni, college, or even people from school. And they would ask me, you know, advice, and I would start to get messages on Instagram about advice and stuff in terms of fitness. And one of my mates was wanting to join the gym, but he had no idea, so I kind of took him in and I let him train with me and stuff. But it was I quite enjoyed the process of kind of teaching him how to do everything, and then he became so well versed in kind of doing it that he managed to just be able to train on his own, and he's been doing it ever since. I did enjoy that process, just kind of helping people, giving people advice, training my friends, all that stuff. It was a very enjoyable experience for me. But then uni kind of deadlines were coming up, my dissertation and all that was due, and I kind of realised, you know, what am I going to do after uni ends? Because film and TV and screenwriting, in the UK it's very hard to get a job straight from uni into one of those fields. It's a very small industry in the UK and there's not a lot of jobs going about. You kind of need to do a lot of unpaid work, and I just was not willing to do much more unpaid work in terms of filmmaking and TV, because I'd done quite a lot before and I just couldn't bring myself to do it anymore. I wanted to actually earn proper money. So because I was training all my friends throughout uni and I was caring more about that than actually was the uni course and my own training, I decided to look into PT courses, because this was something I'd always considered but I never seen myself properly going through with it. But I thought, you know what, this is something that I really enjoy, and as soon as I started giving my friends advice and training them, it's when I really realised this is something that I would really enjoy doing and I think I'd be very good at it. So I saved up quite a lot of money and I'd done my PT course and it was very good. I enjoyed the process quite a bit, met a lot of good people, met a lot of people who I've been friends with ever since. They're some of my best friends nowadays. I kept my training up, kept training really hard, and 2 days after I passed my course I had already contacted a few gyms and I managed to get a job in Pure Gym, which I'm currently in right now, and I've loved it ever since. Ever since I joined there, my confidence has been massively boosted. When I've started there, I've managed to gain a lot of new friends and put on a lot of muscle. My confidence has been boosted. It's just been all round amazing, and I love being a PT in there. So me and my friends booked a lads holiday, as we do, near the end of 2019, and I knew that I was going to need to get in shape because I'd been on this giant bulk for so long, and I decided, you know, I can't go on holiday looking like this, so obviously I need to shred it down. So I gave myself 50 days to do the biggest cut I'd ever done, and I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it was all worth it. I wouldn't recommend the way I did it. I'll go into that in another video, you know, talking about the way I cut down and stuff, but I remember towards the end I was feeling very drained. I didn't do it within enough time. 50 days definitely wasn't enough to lose that much body fat, but I did it anyway. My training kind of depleted a little bit. I was finding it a lot harder to train. My mental state was not as good. I was struggling quite a lot towards the end of this cut.
I'm feeling really bad, you know. Past couple of days has been really tough.
But in the end, I did not give up, did not have one cheat meal throughout the entire process, and ended up being absolutely shredded. You can see the comparison right here. And I looked great for my holiday, felt great, and I remember ever since I've came back from that holiday, I've put on muscle mass and I've gained fat since that holiday, but I've always managed to kind of maintain my lean status at this point. But yeah, I've been working in there ever since, and I feel like I've been quite happy with my body since that holiday, you know, like being lean. Obviously I want to get much bigger, but that's when COVID hit, and my plan was to train a lot more and kind of get a lot bigger this year. But that's been absolutely thwarted by this COVID situation. Obviously I'm not allowed to train in the gyms, I'm not allowed to do what I would usually be able to do, but that's just life. But yeah, that's my journey, and looking back on it, I'm very glad at how much I've been able to change my body, been able to change my whole life, my whole mindset, and actually work in a gym for a living at the moment. Feels good. I've got many things, many endeavours planned for next year in terms of where I want to take my business, but at the moment I'm very happy with my physique. Very happy how things have turned out over the past few years, and I don't know really what I would have been doing without this. But yeah, I'm in love with bodybuilding, fitness, all that good stuff, and I hope this helped you in terms of inspiring you or gave you a kind of push in the right direction. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, TheJackMilton on Instagram. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.